It is April 2025. Time to look at the Albuquerque real estate market and see what has been going on. I've got the latest March data. I've got some news on pending sales. Got a really interesting stat that jumped out on average price. I want to talk about that, as well as interest rates. There's been a lot of macroeconomic news lately, and interest rates have been affected actually in a good way for home buyers. So let's take a look. We're going to start right here. Median sale price. So what we're looking at, just to give you the lay of the land here, we're looking at all homes that sold in the Albuquerque area. In this case, we're looking at just a single family detached homes and the metro, Albuquerque area. Right now, for March, the median sale price was $374,500. That's 6% above last year, same month. If we smooth it out for a 3-month average, which I like to do, it's still running right at about 6%, as you can see here. All right, let's go back to the monthly here. And then average price, this is the one that really jumped out this month, is we had an average price of $453,000, which was highest by far we've ever seen, but it's average, and it's actually a 14% increase from a year ago. But I'm going to click a couple buttons here and show you what's going on. All right, we're going to look at closed sales. We'll get there in a second. We're going to look at all closed sales right now. All closed sales was 730. However, if we look at over $1 million, look at that. Over $2 million, there were 8 sales in March. Highest ever by far for those, ultra luxury high-end homes in Metro Albuquerque. That's what's got the average price so wonky, because average is average. That's why I always like to look at median. But let's jump back to pricing again, but let's look at it price per square foot, because this isn't good. Another way to kind of get rid of those outliers when we're looking at prices. $218 was the average price per square foot in March. That's a 6.3% increase. And again, if we look at the median, right in there, same thing, right about 6% as well, and at $214. All right, let's look at actually sales and what's going on there. We did this really quick. Let me jump back there. Wait, closed sales. Sales up 8%. We've seen a bump in sales, a number of homes selling up 8%. Let's look at this one on the 3-month as well, because again, gives us a larger data set to look at and see what's going on. 8% increase from the same 3 months a year ago on average. So we are seeing a pickup in activity, and you can see from back in 2020 when we had those wild days and into 21. And then it's, starting when the interest rates really popped up here back in 23, we saw the slowdown, and it's been just kind of flat home sales, slowest we've seen in a long time. But as you've already seen, it hasn't affected price appreciation. In fact, price appreciation is actually clipping along at a pretty healthy pace here in Albuquerque. Number of homes for sale, this has been a story for many years now, which is just we don't have a lot of homes on the market at any given time. This month, we ended up right around 1,500 homes on the market. Of course, that's a snapshot in time, because, the number of homes on the market is changing, day to day, hour to hour. But 1,505, it just gives us a comparison to last year, and about 18% more than a year ago. Pending sales, we got to take this one with a grain of salt, because what happens is when we track this on a monthly basis, what we're looking at is all the homes that went pending in March. However, there's always going to be 20 to 30% of churn or fall through, I think is really the better word for that. Homes that went under contract and then fell out of market or off contract and came back on the market. And so this number actually adjusts when that happens. So over the month, this will drop. But let's look at it a different way, because this tells a better story. Now, this is from my website. It's at welcomehomeabq.com, and I have a weekly tracker of all the stats for the Albuquerque area. You can catch it over there. But what we're looking at here is the total number of homes that are currently pending as of this week, or end of last week, March 28th. 1,168 homes versus 1,054 a year ago. Oops, I didn't mean to push that one. There it is. Yeah, so you can see it there. 1,054 a year ago, 1,168 this year, about a 10% increase in the number of homes under contract. So yes, the activity has picked up from a year ago. All right, let's just jump through a couple more of these data points. Month supply, this is that whole ratio between the number of homes on the market, number of homes going off the market, and it's counted in months. Right now it's at 2%, or excuse me, I said that wrong. 2 months. 2 months supply, slight increase from last year, but by any historic measure, that is still a seller's market. Of course, it really depends on the price range that you're in when you're looking at that supply situation. All right, a couple more things I want to look at. The number of showings per listing. This is that indicator on demand, the step before pending sales. And this is how many people are out looking at homes. And so again, we call it shows per listing, also known as foot traffic. It's down from last year for the month. Let's look at the 3-month on that one. Yeah, down as well. So not as many people out, but it's interesting because just like we just saw, pendings are healthy. So it may be that just there's not as many people out looking, but the people that are out there looking are serious and are moving forward with the purchase. So maybe not as many casual lookers this year. Let's look at days on market because that's always another interesting indicator. And actually this one did jump out this month because you can see for February, it was 29 days with the median days on market. So that's that mid-range between all the homes that closed in February. Half of them went under contract in 29 days or less, 29 days or more. Okay, got that. And remember, these are homes that closed in February, or if we're looking at March, these are homes that closed in March. So there's a big difference. But when you think about that, you got to back up 45 days, let's say 50 days on average for when the home actually went under contract. So those February closings, these are homes that went under contract in probably December, January, slowest time of the year, where now we're closing homes that went under contract in really more January, February, and it was just faster paced. So 16 days on market median, not unusual. It was a big drop from the winter slowdown, or a big change, I should say. And right now, average days on market, again, all the homes that sold, 44 days. That's still actually historically low. I mean, if you look at this, we're looking at the 5-year. If we go back 10 years, you can see that's still pretty normal. You know, we're going back, if we go to 2020, right here, January of 2020, just before the pandemic started, you know, we were right there at about 44 days. So pretty normal. Last thing I want to hit on is just the interest rates, because there's a whole lot of, you know, macroeconomic stuff out there. I'm not going to get into that, but I do want to talk about mortgage rates because they have seen a good bump down, right? As of today, when I'm recording this, Friday, the 4th of April, 6.55 is what the trend is showing. And this is for 30-year fixed rate for a highly qualified person. It's just more of an indicator. I mean, you can get lower, it might be higher, it just depends. But it's more of an indicator of the trend. And if you look at the chart here, you can see, so right now, 6.55, we have to go back to, what is this, October of 2024, when we last saw this low of an interest rate. A lot of info there. That's all I got today. Thanks for watching. If you need any help with your real estate needs, questions, reach out to us. We're the Venturi Realty Group here in Albuquerque, 505-448-8888. I couldn't think of the number for a second. And we are with Real Broker here in New Mexico. Take care.